Hey YouTube, this is Corlash1990, and today I have my first Wyvern deck tech video. Now keep in mind, this deck tech video is made entirely of cards from the first set or some form of the first set. I know there's like multiple printings of it. I don't really know how to tell outside of just like what cards do and maybe some like cost reductions or increases. I don't know. I bought a box of starter decks and I made a few decks purely out of just that, kind of like a one box sort of a meta. This is one of those decks. I have not bought any singles for this game. It's literally just a box of starter decks. So not even like a booster box. There's like these card games back in the 90s had these things called starter decks, which weren't really starters for playing the game, but like starters for starting your collection. They all had two rares in them and a bunch of just commons and uncommons and such. So this deck is again just with that stuff, and it's just from the first set. I've mentioned previously in other videos I like playing these old card games purely from the first set. It really gives you a good in-depth view as to what the creators of the game truly were trying to create, and it really just like kind of envelops you into that whole like idea that they had through the mechanics, the cards, and like how they look and the artwork, and it's the more pure form of the game itself. So for those of you that don't know, Wyvern is played with two decks. There is your like dragon deck and like your treasure hoard deck or whatever it's called, which this is the stuff you actually use to like buff your dragons, deal with other dragons, and play these treasures in your columns and all that stuff. That's this. These are what you are trying to remove from your opponent, on top of how you remove your opponent's stuff. There's also these like crazy locations that have awesome artwork. I love this game, by the way. I've played quite a few games, and it's such a fun, underrated old card game, and it's just there's something pure and special about this game. And in fact, one of the newer games that came out, Sorcery, reminded me a lot of this, like the way the cards are kind of laid out. Though these aren't full art like Sorcery, but it's that old card look. So anyway, let's start with the just like the where all your like dudes are essentially. So I'm not going to go super in depth into all of these. I will say for the first set, a lot of the decks, will kind of look and play the same because you can use everything. Can use everything. There's no like color restrictions or any other like faction restrictions. There's none of that. So I will say it is one of the like biggest downfalls to this game. But again, it's an old card game. Like you know what you're getting into, so don't like think too much about it. So first off, we have Red. This guy is insane. He costs a lot of gold. So you pay. You start the game with like 25. It's been a little while since I played. I think you start the game with like 25 gold pieces. And to play something, you pay gold equal to its strength, which is 6, plus any amount of gold pieces that are here. So this guy's 8 to play. That's a lot. That's a lot. But when he's out, it's going to stay out, and it's just going to pummel the crap out of everything. So it's immune to Dragon Slayers, which is very good. And +1 to all battle action strength modifiers when played on red. So this thing gets huge, gets insane, it gets really hard to deal with, and it kind of just aces everything. In fact, every game I have had this, I have won. So it kind of just shows where that lies. Next, we have Black. So there's dragons for like all these different colors. These are the only two that I got. I actually feel pretty lucky to have gotten these two. They're quite rare to get. But he's strength 4. He has 2 gold, so 6 gold to play, which is still expensive. Subterranean, so there's things that affect subterranean dragons and like attacking underground and stuff. And it's immune to Dragon Slayers, which is also good. And opponent loses 1 gold to the gold mine, which is like the common pool on each of his, it should be his or her draw phases that Black is face up. So it slowly bleeds them of their resources. Black is great. Jormungandr, probably one of my favorites. It's just a strength 7 fatty. This is yeah, like all 3 of these should be pretty much in every single Wyvern deck, but this you can't go wrong with just pure power, though it can be aced by Dragon Slayers, so let's keep that in mind. Celestial with great artwork. Strength 5 flying, not bad. And this is, so these are all rares. I believe this is rare. There's like different rarities. I don't know. These are all rares. I think this is like an uncommon. A very good uncommon at that, though. Then we have Leviathan. There's also, I need to get better lighting. There's like a glare right here. I'm trying to avoid it. But anyway, strength 5. Not too bad. And Ceto, I think that's how you call it. The dragon that like kind of eats itself looking thing with like some pyramids. Pretty cool. Strength 4, and when it wins a battle, you get 1 gold piece. So that should be in every deck as well. I think this is kind of like a staple. Next, we have Draco, which I believe this is a rare. It should be, because it's got a cool name and it's got sweet artwork. Strength 3, 2 more gold, so 5. And then once Draco attacks, it must continue to attack during that same turn until it dies or discovers terrain, which it's probably going to die either way. Strength, 3 is not that big, but we have a lot of strength modifiers in our deck, as every Wyvern deck should have. We got this, oh my gosh, Epep. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty cool looking mystical dragon, though it's like a subterranean one. Strength 3. And next for, not that, these. Every dragon deck, or whatever this deck is called, I cannot remember off the top of my head, so forgive me. You should play some amount of scouts. Anywhere between like 3 to like 6, somewhere in there. I like 4. Scouts are what you use to hopefully find your opponent's terrain. If you find them, they like get rid of them. That's kind of key. So always have some form of scouts. I would recommend having an equal amount of strength 0 ones, which are free, and some that are 1 cost. Because the one that are 1 cost, they have like cool abilities. So flying scout costs 0, whatever. Strength 0 scout, which is good. So you just play them for free. This one's a strength 0, but it has 1 gold, so it costs 1 to play. Get 1 gold piece from the gold mine each time Mo discovers terrain. This should be in every single deck, I personally think anyway. And then Kyo Lung. It's got awesome artwork too. Kudos to this person that did the artwork for like pretty much this entire game. I think they did every picture for this game, which it's very admirable being an artist myself. That's a lot of work, even if they're a little simplistic. But Strength 0 Scout. If Ko Lung loses a battle, draw 1 card from your treasure hoard draw pile. So, yeah, and they're going to lose battles. That's kind of what happens to scouts. And so next, rounding off the deck with terrain, I would always recommend some amount of terrain. I have, 2, 4, 6, 8. So, yeah, somewhere in there. You don't want too many because then you're going to get clogged up and you're going to have nothing to close the game out, but you want enough to surprise your opponent. And I'm not playing multiple copies of any, because I can't remember if you can or not. You might be able to play like 2 copies per, I don't know. But anyway, we've got Tunnel. It gets you 2 gold pieces when you play it. That's like their thing here. Dragon can only attack cards in a direct line across from the dragon card. If there are no cards there to attack, they may attack any card they could normally at -1 strength. So Tunnel's really good. It really restricts on where your opponent can attack. Plus, it's got sweet artwork too. Just like, this whole game has good artwork. So we got Forest. Again, it's only a strength modifier -1, but it gets you 2 gold. Swamp is literally the same thing. And Swamp Hole, it's almost the same thing, even it's very similar artwork. Gets you 1 gold, but it kills dragons of 2 or less strength. So it aces the scouts, is essentially what that card does. Cave, it gives you a gold, and dragon can only attack face down cards for the rest of the game, which is pretty good. So if you got something important like a scout that's face up, they can't kill it. If there are no face down cards to attack, it attacks a face up card at -1 strength. So very restricting, like Tunnel. Frozen Lake kills dragons of 4 or more strength, has no effect on any other dragons. So this is a way to get around like your opponent's big fatties. Forest Fire kills any dragon that discovers it. The owner of the slain dragon may place the Forest Fire on any other card in either battlefield and destroy that card. So there's more removal. Pretty good, even though they get to fling it back at you. And then finally, Pit, this pretty little shooting star back there, kills dragons of 3 or less strength. So that is the dragon deck. It's very just straightforward. Like it's not special by any means. This is a 20 card deck, I believe. So keep that at 20 cards. Next, as one of the terrain pieces said, is the treasure hoard draw pile, or one of the dragons. I don't remember. This, you have your treasure cards, and then all of your like action, reaction, battle card stuff. So let's go over the treasure cards first. So for your 2 rows, you can have a treasure, 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 treasure. That's where all these come in. They will continually affect the like row that they're in. So treasure, we have just a straight up a sword. Costs 2 gold to play. Dragons in this row gain +1 strength when attacking. Not bad. Fountain of Youth, 1 gold to play. 1 dragon in this row can survive a lost battle. As soon as this happens, you discard Fountain of Youth. So again, you want this in your area where you got your like main win con dragon out there smacking things around. So makes it really difficult for your opponent to deal with. Kind of like that yellow card in Star Wars Destiny, where if like something dies, it comes back and prevents 5 damage and all that fun stuff. Yeah, anyway, so we got gold. Whenever a dragon in this row wins a battle, you get a gold piece. Great way to continue to get those resources back, because once you spend them, they're gone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 25. You get your 25 and that's it. And it goes fast. Like if you're not smart with your resources, like the big thing about this game is resource management. If you're not good at that, this game's gonna be a little rough for you. So practice that, play stuff like this to kind of get some more leeway, some more wiggle room on what you're doing. Yeah, not bad. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it does come in quite a bit. We have a treasure room. When any dragon in this row loses a battle, you get a gold piece. Again, same thing. I would recommend both of these for like every deck. You want more ways to gain resources, or to choke your opponent out of resources. You know, whatever kind of a theme you're looking for there. So we have a Maiden in Distress. Dragons in this row can't be killed by Dragon Slayers. Any Dragon Slayer can remove Maiden of Distress from the game. Very thematic and also good. It makes your opponent waste 2 cards to kill a dragon versus just a 1-for-1 trade. Then our last treasure card is Pearl. I do like the artwork on this one as well. And when a dragon in this row wins a battle, draw 1 card from your treasure hoard draw pile. So pretty good. I would say like these, like 4 right here. So not that one. I would say these are like musts. I would highly recommend playing those. Now for the meat and potatoes of the deck. This is the stuff that you're going to see the most of. This is the stuff you're going to play the most of. And it's all the purple cards. And these decks, the treasure hoard draw pile, I want to say is like 50 cards. I know my deck is 50. So it's like 20 and 50, so like 70, 90 card games really love deck sizes like massive. So pretty sure that's what it is. I think that's the minimum. Might be 40, but I think it's 50. So we're going to start things off with Vishnu. Cost 4 gold. That is a lot. A face-up dragon of your choice must be turned face down, which means your opponent has to pay for it again. This dragon will have to be paid for again the next time it is turned face up, literally what I just said. So yeah, this card's insane. Put it on a big cost dragon. If they don't have enough gold to flip it, guess what? They don't get it. This card's mean. And next we have 2 Volcanic Eruption. It costs 2 gold. You bring any card back from your treasure hoard discard pile back to your hand. So just some recursion. Whirlpool. So this and Whirlpool should be in every single deck. In fact, Meteor Shower as well. Whirlpool, cost 1, draw 2. That's pretty good. you should definitely play that. Meteor Shower. All players discard their hands and draw 5 cards. That's like a Wheel of Fortune. You should definitely play that. Card draw is good. Next, we have 4 copies of Fireball. Now, this is all of our battle action strength modifier cards. There's quite a bit of them because you need them. Though maybe 4, this is a little excessive, but I play 4 to draw into them. Yeah, they cost 3, and they have a strength modifier plus 4, which is a ton. That's pretty good. Next, we have 4 copies of Firebolt. Cost 2 for a plus 3. So you can see a little theme there. And now we get to the, this one cost 1 for a plus 2. And Dwarven Army, so magical sword. Yeah. But anyway, Dwarven Army costs 0 for a plus 1. Kind of see the balance there. Also play 4 Fire Breathing, cost 0, strength modifier plus 1. That is all of our attack modifier stuff. So next I have 1 Kiss of Le Succubi. It costs 2. I really hope I said that name right. Whatever. Whenever this card is played in response to the play of any Dragon Slayer, the Dragon Slayer is discarded with no effect. and you can destroy any card on the table. Yeah, this card's nuts. I would play as many copies of this as you have. It's a rare. I only own one. I would hands down be playing 4 of these. Dragon Slayers are like your answers to cards, and this straight up just stops it. This is like a counter spell for this deck, essentially. I have a 2 Marina, and it cancels the play of any Dragon Slayer. This is also a very good card. It doesn't blow things up, but it stops Dragon Slayers. So again, more early counterspell stuff. Now we got 4 Armor. Cancels the play of any action card that has a strength modifier. So again, more counterspelling. You can see a little bit of a theme there, and there's a glare, so I'm going to avoid that glare because it's annoying. I play 2 Seth. It costs 2. It can Seth attacks an opponent's face down card. Turn the attack card face up. If it's a terrain card, it is discarded. If it's a dragon, it stays face up and it is not paid for. This card is really risky. But it can, you know, if you think your opponent's got terrain cards hidden somewhere, this can kind of ace them out. And, you know, but if it's a dragon, they get a dragon for free. But it could also allow you to then attack and kill that dragon. Because you want to kill your opponent's whole board. That's how you win the game, is getting all of the dragon cards out, or to where they can't do anything. You know, you want to wipe them all out. So this can help kind of speed up that process. It's still pretty risky, though. You have to have the right order of cards to be able to make that work. And it's technically a Dragon Slayer card. These last few cards in the deck are all Dragon Slayers, by the way. So I play 4 Lancelot. Oh, Sir Lancelot. Costs 2. Kills any dragon of 3 or less strength, which is, you know, all of the like utility dragons and scouts. So for of those, we have a lot of answers for a lot of other things in the terrain deck, so I maxed down on those. And then finally, to round the deck off, I play 4 copies of St. George. It removes any treasure from the game. So these cards, that answers those. You need to be able to answer those. You don't want your opponent to be playing them and you just be getting all of those free benefits, those free gold pieces the whole game. So anyway, that is the deck tech. I'm considering uploading my other deck. It's very similar to this. It has a lot of similar cards, actually. It just runs more of a like choke your opponent out of resources strategy, where this is just more mid-rangey, straightforward, answer everything, do everything pretty well. I'm debating. I don't know. This deck, though, I definitely enjoy. I do just enjoy this game quite a bit. I think this is a phenomenal game. And again, if you play this, then, you know, thank you for watching this anyway. You probably know more about this game than I do. But if you don't play Sorcery, I would hands down recommend getting in on Sorcery when beta kicks in. I would not get it now if you didn't back the Kickstarter. The prices are insane. I would just step away, wait for beta, don't give into the whole FOMO thing. You're not going to miss out on anything. Trust me, that game's going to, I think, do pretty well for quite a while. I don't think it's going to do like what the whole MetaZoo thing did. I think this game's a little bit different than that. I think the creators are a little bit different than that as well. But yeah, that is my just opinion on that. Like, give it a look. You know, kind of check it out. They have print-to-play decks. Do that. And if you don't play this game, Wyvern, it is very cheap for the first set. I would highly recommend just getting some bulk stuff off of eBay, building some decks, and just having a good old-fashioned 90s card game time. Like, this really is a pretty good representation of how games were in, what, like 1994. Yeah. Couldn't recommend this game enough. And then before I end the video, I am showing off what I will be doing in the future. I need to get some card sleeves for these, though. But I noticed that one of my videos I did that had Shadowrun cards did really well. I have 3 Shadowrun decks, and they're all very thematic. I think I think I play like very minimum amounts of cards in here, so these aren't like full complete decks, but these are like skirmishy type decks. And they all have themes. Like, I have like a rigger deck and like vehicles and stuff. One's like elves and magic and all this crazy stuff. And the other one is these dudes that use guns and like the orcs and stuff. Like, look at this. This artwork is insane. It has some very famous artists. Good old Ron Spencer. And just like straight up like these dudes getting liquefied. So I will be doing deck videos for this game as well. So stay tuned for that. And again, thank you all for watching. I'll be doing those a little bit in the future. I have some sorcery stuff I want to post, but I don't want to stray away from the dead card games that I do on this channel because I love them. They're a passion of mine, and yeah, I want to keep the heart of my channel pure to what it is. Anyway, thank you all for watching this. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate all you. You guys are great. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.